to another session of Stelmo's Rants and Raves. I'm Stelmo. Let's jump right in here. Okay, so Fox News is running an article here. It says, Iran says economic woes coming for the United States over war of choice against Tehran. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I just don't understand why they're allowing that, why the president is allowing this. You know, it's only a couple quick paragraphs there, so let me read this. Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi, let me just translate that, he's a deplorable dipstick, claimed economic woes are coming for the U.S. after it launched a war of choice on Iran. Americans are told that they must absorb rocketing cost of war of choice on Iran, he wrote on X on Friday. Put aside gas price hike and stock market bubble. Real pain begins when U.S. debt and mortgage rates start to jump, he added. This was all avoidable. The comments come as oil prices remain elevated with tensions high in the Strait of Hormuz. So let's see here. Yeah, I agree. You know, yesterday, the 15th of May, which was the last business day this week, the 10-year was up, I think it was 10.7 basis points. That's a huge jump. And it's been up every day, I think, since what? Since the new inflation numbers come out. And everyone was surprised at the rise. But trust me, that rise is only fractional, a small fraction of what is yet to come. So, look, mortgage rates are based on the 10-year. So just based on Friday's huge increase alone is going to make mortgage rates rise more. But inflation, and again, our government will underreport the inflation, but the inflation is real. I've said this before, I'll say it probably 1,000 times more. James Carville so famously coined the phrase, it's the economy, stupid. And it was true then, and it remains true now. And why is that? It's because people live the economy. They stop in stores. Maybe they want to go out to eat at a restaurant and they're shocked by the prices they have to pay. You know, people's income is stretched beyond the limits. People are having to do without. People are giving up, making payments on some of their debt. They're giving up maybe an extra vehicle that they have. They're going to have to do without because, you know, the price of food alone is going up so much that it's hard to fathom. You know, I saw another headline yesterday or the day before, and I don't remember the exact verbiage of it, but it was saying from 2030 on, that home insurance prices are going to rise in Florida. And I said, oh, gee, is that so? And what about between now and 2030? What about the last 3 or 4 years where these insurance costs have gone through the roof? You know, I have a car and a truck, and I don't put a lot of miles on them. And yet what I'm paying for insurance is just, it's beyond the pale. And I understand how many people out there they're just not able to pay their bills. They're going to feed their families. And this doesn't bode well for this country because I don't see the answer. But I don't see, you know, with this war in Iran, with the price that we're going to pay for it, still so much in the future, this ceasefire makes little to no sense to me. End the war, get it over with. Yes, unfortunately, you're going to have to put some boots on the ground. But I think that, they can do it selectively. Helicopter them in, helicopter them out, take out the different bases and things that they know. They can do this, I believe. They're terrified, that any American deaths are not going to bode well. And that's true. I can't disagree with that. But death, unfortunately, is a real part of war. And, humans across the globe have really been spoiled lately with all of the smart weaponry that's out there that wasn't available in previous times. And I suggest won't be used in some potential future conflicts just because of the cost factor. These things require so much of our, what I call magic money. It isn't even funny. And I don't know what's going to give, but seems to me that this war needs to end because the Iranian prime minister, or whatever this quack is titled, he sees what's readily available for anybody out there to see. And the mortgage rates are going to continue to go up. Inflation is going to go through the roof because we really haven't seen all of the increases that are coming because of the increased transportation costs. Trains run on diesel, trucks run on diesel. Diesel's 5 something a gallon here in Florida. And we haven't seen the rises in prices that have to show up because of this. It's costing farmers more for their to fuel their farm implements, and that money has to come from somewhere, and it's going to come out of the pockets of the consumers, and especially consumers here in America. And what are they going to hate more? They're going to hate both scenarios. But I think they're going to hate the inflation scenario most because the Strait of Hormuz is not open. They're not even anymore talking about going in to open it. Donald Trump is apparently, he's asking the Germans, and the Germans have come out and said, yeah, Tehran needs to negotiate a peace agreement. Well, I don't know how many different ways Tehran can inform the United States that their nuclear program is off the table. They're not going to negotiate it. And nothing Donald Trump does or says is going to change that. And he can come out with these really ridiculous statements, which I dislike, and I'm a fervent Trump supporter. How he's going to light it up and it'll all be glowing. This is nonsense. Although they made sure that the press knew that they were sending a submarine with nuclear weapons to that theater. Again, he's trying to scare them into submission. But if he's successful in having them come to an agreement under duress, does anybody actually believe that it's not going to unravel? And I suggest it will unravel quite quickly. I think perhaps Donald Trump is thinking, well, he'll leave it for his successor, whoever that may be. But I got news for him. That thing will fall apart, assuming there's even an agreement. But right now, it doesn't look like there's any agreement. And every day that goes on, I say, how many more days is he going to allow this? Go in, get it over with. Let's get back to reality. Let's get the price of oil back down. On the positive side, we have the United Arab Emirates who have agreed that they're leaving OPEC. They've always believed that they've been hampered in their ability to pump as much oil as they wanted to. And, they were limited by OPEC. They never liked that. And they used this opportunity to pull out of OPEC, which virtually destroys OPEC. So yes, that could bring down the price of fuel and everything once we get back to normal. Right now, we're not normal. And many of these Gulf states, they're not able to drill and produce as much oil as they would like because of the damage created by Iranian rockets that have been fired on them. And throughout this ceasefire, they continue to fire rockets at the Arab countries. And what I worry about is a significant event, them just by luck, or perhaps they were able to zero in on a target that is going to hamper production for a substantial period of time. These are all negative things, and they all become all the more possible to happen because we're in a ceasefire and the enemy's regrouping. I don't know why you'd want to do that. I really don't understand that. And so, and I know I've repeated myself. I'm probably sounding like a record that skips. I say that I don't even know people. Too many people, young people today, they don't even know what a vinyl record is. So that's probably lost on them. But anyway, it's sad that the leaders in Iran understand what's going to happen. And if you really look at these comments, you can realize one thing. This Iranian regime, at this point in time, during this ceasefire, has time on their side. The time is not on our side. I just hope at some point Donald Trump realizes this and changes his course, and he goes back to the promise that he made the Iranian people to have their back, to take out this regime once and for all. And with that, I'm going to close for now. You all have a great day. Stay safe. It's a crazy world out there. It gets crazier by the day. Sometimes I think it gets crazier by the hour, but it is what it is. Good day. Bye-bye.